nice with the ice so smooth. If you messin' me, you messin' with the goons. Pucks in, deep 5-hole, then we selly. Hockey with the boys and we trip like Letter Kenny. With dollar bills, we got the loonies. Paul and Braydon, a couple beauties. Gloves coming off if you wanna tangle. Or I can hit you with the Dirty Dangles. Yeah, this is Dirty Dangles.
What is going on, Dirty Danglers? That there was Kairos. You know what it is. That's Kairos, the best from the west side of Kelowna. It's your boy getting us hyped for episode 3 of Dirty Frickin' Dangles, boys. My name's Paul. To my right's Braydon. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, Paul? What's going on, Dirty Danglers?
That was pretty good.
Yeah. So, how was your week?
Oh, it was great. How did yours go?
It wasn't too bad. Went down to Vancouver for the day and just kind of hung out, visit some friends, and was actually near Rogers Arena, which was pretty nice. Don't really go down to downtown Vancouver that much, so it was good.
We might actually be heading there.
We could be. Oh man, you could be catching us there.
Dirty Dangles.
Oh yeah.
Look out for us.
Exactly.
No media pass though. Probably just guerrilla mode, but who knows?
Whatever works, right?
Yeah. Hey. We're gonna continue on with some segments. Let's give viewers a rundown here.
Yeah. So the first segment we're gonna go through is Dirty or Dangles. So Paul and I will just discuss which we're gonna list off a few things, and we're gonna discuss if they're dirty or dangles or not. Then the second segment is gonna be the deadline deals. So pretty much what we thought of the past, what the deals that happened this past week during the trades, and right after, we're going to go over John Tavares' return to New York, which was really interesting. Then Paul would like to get into Jack Edwards, broadcaster for the Bruins. Then we're going to discuss Ottawa's current situation.
Demise.
Yeah. And then we're going to end the show with Name That Hockey Guy. So, Paul, we'll start off with Dirty or Dangles. So, Paul, listening to podcasts or music at work. Dirty or Dangles?
Straight Dangles. I love it. If it doesn't interfere with work, you know what? Listen to it up. Get our great. You can't see our mugs because you're at work, but you can listen to our voices. So
exactly.
Do it up.
Straight Dangles. I think you should be able to listen. I think it just boosts the morale and everything. I don't know. It's a lot more fun to work.
It's healthy.
Exactly.
It's healthy for your body.
Exactly. It's a lot more fun to work. Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Whatever. All right, Paul. So, stick and puck at 9:45 on a Friday night. Dirty or Dangles?
Yeah. Okay, I'll give the viewers the rundown here. So, reason we're bringing this up is I was planning on going to stick and puck in September. The schedule said 9:45 Friday. I'm like, sweet. I'm gonna have a few cold ones. We can get ready. I'm gonna go to the rink, and me and Braydon, we both had our skates. We were ready to go. We had our sticks taped. We made sure that we watched Mark Savard's hockey tape tutorials on YouTube. Like, this is how into that I was. And we show up there. There's a guy in a San Jose jersey shorts, Penn's jersey shorts. Like, they're just like, nah, there's no stick and puck, mate. And I'm like, man, are you kidding me?
Man, it was just the look of disappointment in your face on that day. Man, you were disappointed. That's for sure. It wasn't a good time. You dropped the ball though, Paul.
Yeah. Well, hey, it was
actually
in the schedule.
It was the city that dropped the ball. Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Anyway.
Yeah, stupid typos. What can you do? All right, so clubs or bars, Dirty or Dangles?
Oh, straight Dangles. I love bars, Dangles. I love clubs, Dangles. What says you, Braydon?
I'm not much for a club. I just like a bar, so dirty on clubs, but actually, you know what? Bars, it can be Dangles, but it can be dirty. Because at our local bar, I just hear too much Pitbull.
It's both dirty and Dangles, I think, at local bar. Coldwater shouts you out. Hoping to make an appearance there, too.
Oh, we always make an appearance there. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Every now and then. You got to roll up. You got to roll up to the Coldwater, have a few ones. This is some Pitbull, Shania, the works.
All right. All right. So, blondes or brunettes, dirty or Dangles?
Oh, dirty and Dangles. Says me. What says you, Braydon?
Dirty. Oh no, not dirty. Dangles for both. I mean, I'm really liking blondes right now, but hey, Dangles for both.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
hey, you redheads, you guys are Dangles
Yeah,
as well.
we haven't forgot about you. We don't discriminate.
Not at all.
Red, brunette, blonde. But yeah.
Dirty blonde.
Yeah, well, that's what I am, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're a blonde, right?
Originally.
Dirty blonde though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Just went to brown. It just changed. Don't know why.
Really?
Just changed.
When did that happen?
I was a young buck.
Like your hair went from blonde to
my hair was white, just turned to brown.
Oh.
Weird.
I mean, I've been your friend for years and I don't remember that change happening, but
Oh no, it was long before.
but like you've always had an auburn beard.
Yeah, it's It's I don't know.
It's interesting how that works.
Very interesting. But
Anyway.
we're getting off topic right now.
There you go. That's what
Alright.
happens. Dirty Dangles.
Exactly.
All right, what's next?
All right, so the last one, Jerome McGinley just got his jersey retired tonight. So, do you think Jerome McGinley is a hockey Hall of Famer? Dirty or Dangles?
I think it is fair to say it's a contested one, but I think it's Dangles. What says you?
I think it's Dangles as well. Jerome McGinley put up 1,300 points in 1,554 games, and 625 of those were goals. So, I mean, I personally think that he was, or he is a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's won 2 Rocket Richards, and he's won a Art Ross. He got to a Cup final. He was so close to winning a Cup. So, and he was a dominant force in his prime. I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and I have to add, he also won a Memorial Cup, I believe, with the Kamloops Blazers.
Yeah, that's right. Where he lit it up as well.
Yeah, that was a sick team.
Yeah. So, yeah, he should definitely be a Hall of Famer. All right, so now we're going to get into, or that was the end of the Dirty Dangle segment. Tweet us or just message us, and if you guys disagree with us, we'd like to know, or even agree. So now we're going to get into the deadline deals that happened this past week. So the first one we're going to start with like the big name guy. That was Mark Stone going to Vegas. What did you think about the trade?
Oh, you know what? I like the fact that they got a marquee piece in Brandstrom. Abraham, you want to tell the viewers what the trade was?
Yeah. So it was Mark Stone going to Vegas for a second round pick, Eric Brandstrom, and this depth guy. I can't remember his name, but he was a depth guy who's playing on the third line now. But the big piece of that was Brandstrom, because he is a highly coveted defensive prospect. He is playing pretty well in the AHL right now. He's recorded 7 goals and 21 assists, so 28 points for the Chicago Wolves, who with the affiliate for Vegas. So yeah, I mean, he's highly coveted, and that was the star piece other than Stone.
Yeah, no, for sure. I really like his game. You know what? I think they couldn't get that marquee piece back in their other trades that they made, i.e. Duchesne and Carlson. But I think that's definitely good. You could argue. I know you were arguing you thought they should have got an extra first. I think that's just maybe a credit to Pierre Dorian not being the best negotiator. And, you know, the fact that all these teams were out on Ottawa early because of the price that was started, and maybe Pierre Dorian didn't do well in trying to even out that price sooner than just, you know.
Well, wouldn't you have tried to sold high on Stone as well? Try to get as much as you could?
Yes, I would have, but I think Pierre Dorian tried to get too much at the beginning, and that's why a lot of teams kind of left.
Fair. We should also add that Stone signed $9.5 million over 8 years.
Yeah, he signed an extension to a lot of money, and I definitely think it's fair.
I mean, I thought he was going to get a lot more than 9.5 a year, but hey, it worked out for Vegas in the long run. And if Ottawa thinks Brandstrom is the centerpiece of that trade, then hey, they must be high on him and they must see something. So it could work out for them in the long run. I think they should have got a forward prospect, but only time will tell. All right, so for the next one, Nashville made a lot of moves at the deadline, or a couple moves, and it just really bolstered their team. So they acquired Wayne Simmons and Michael Granlund. I thought those are two great pieces that are going to fit well with this team.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I thought that Simmons adds that toughness that they need during playoffs, also that scoring finish. He's that type of guy that, although he's underperforming right now, I think come playoff time he could definitely light it up.
Oh yeah, he's that playoff type of guy. You want somebody like that on your team, and just to pick up with Granlund as well. Like when Mikko Koivu, centerman and the captain for Minnesota, went down, he was heavily relied on, along with Eric Stahl. So getting him to go to Nashville, it was exchanged for Kevin Fiala, who was a great prospect at the beginning for Nashville, but he just stumbled and hasn't performed like he should have. So having that return and getting back a guy like Granlund was a pretty good trade by GM David Poile.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I like the trade for both sides. I think, Granlund had 2 years left, whereas Fiala has restricted free agency years where the team has more control. I definitely like the trade for Minnesota just because there's some high upside to Fiala. People were saying that Fiala is maybe the most skilled player on the team at one point. So, you got to respect a team like Minnesota that's been known to trade for guys and build their team that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good pickup for both sides. I think Fiala might do well with the change of scenery. And, I think it was a great trade. It was just a great day for Nashville. They're definitely winners. Speaking of another winner and a team that they might face in the playoffs is the Winnipeg Jets. And they added some nice depth pieces and a second-line center, which they wanted to upgrade, and they did.
Yeah, so let's talk first about Kevin Hayes, second-line center. I predicted also he would go to Winnipeg. He did. He fits in perfectly, that second line, that 2A, 1B center. He's going to be passing the puck to line A. When I was watching him in New York, he was really good at finding passing seams and just very complimentary to guys. Like I said last podcast, the issue with Hayes is apparently he doesn't skate that fast, and he's not the greatest skater. But I think as a rental piece, he's definitely the perfect addition for a team like Winnipeg.
Oh yeah, he's that big body presence, right? So I thought it was a great pickup as well. They did pay up for him though. I'm not gonna lie, there was a first in there, and who was it? Another prospect. Oh yeah, it was another prospect. I can't remember on the top of my head, but yeah, there was a haul. But they added Nathan Beaulieu from Buffalo. It's a depth piece on defense just because of what's going on with Morrissey and Bufflin. They've just been really injury prone as of late. So adding that depth piece really helped them out. And they also added another defenseman as well. So they overall, I believe they were winners of the deadline as well.
And you got to love the mindset of these teams that go, you know what, Kevin Cheveldayoff, GM of the Winnipeg Jets, didn't make any moves in other deadlines until last year and this year, and then he really splurges. That just shows you here's a team that's contending, here's a team that's not contending, and that's the way I think you should do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. The next one is San Jose, and they made a sneaky but really impactful move of acquiring Gustav Nyquist from Detroit. I thought that was a great piece. I honestly thought he was going to go to a team like Montreal, which I was hoping was going to do something, which they didn't. But San Jose just bolstered their team. Their lineup it has so much depth throughout all four lines, and even their back end too. This team is just designed to make such a strong playoff push. Their goalie situation, they could have adjusted a little bit more, but I think what they did with Nyquist, putting them on the third line, it just helps that team out so much more.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I like Nyquist. I think he's a great piece that can play up and down that lineup. And he's a right wing that shoots left, so a good off wing guy, and can definitely get pucks to the net.
Oh, exactly. Oh, he's gonna help the power play unit, whatever one he plays on. It was just such a smart move for them to do. Yeah, it helps them. Another team that I want to talk about real quick is Columbus. Columbus added a few pieces to that, like Adam McQuaid as like one of those big guys or just a depth guy that'll help them out in the playoffs. They're really going for it. And they added Keith Kincaid, which I was kind of surprised. I don't know why they added another goalie, but they're really going for it with Bobrovsky and Panarin on expiring deals and probably not going to resign.
Yeah, and you mentioned Keith Kincaid. That might be a sign of the fact that maybe not both of their goalies are healthy or playing up to standards that they like, that being Korpisalo. And maybe Bobrovsky is slightly hindered by a minor injury or such, right?
Yeah, it must be, because the Kincaid deal just kind of threw me off, because I thought, if anything, Korpisalo would just take the reins if anything did happen. So it was interesting, but yeah, it was a nice depth piece, that's for sure.
Kincaid's also signed a next year,
okay.
I believe. So I think that's why they also did the move.
Yeah, it makes sense, because if Bobrovsky's leaving, it's nice to have that insurance policy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So those are the deadline deals that we would like to talk about. Do you have anything else to add to any of them?
No, just with Columbus, I think they didn't have to pay too much to get the two main studs they got down the middle, or on the middle, and a wing middle in Dzingel. Duchesne and Dzingel. I think those are great additions.
Yeah,
we touched this in the other pod.
Yeah, they did give up a lot of draft picks, so I mean, we'll see. Only time will tell what will happen with that. But yeah.
But you know what? Like, if you're from the point of view of Columbus, this is a team that's never won a playoff series.
That's true.
And are you telling me that they'd really be better if they didn't try to go for it this year? Like, they have a goalie. They're never going to get it's going to be hard to say that they can get that goalie that's going to get them to the Stanley Cup next year, because they got Bobrovsky, who's a Vezina winning goalie.
Yeah.
They have a superstar forward. You know, like, this is a team
that's true. I mean, it's really ballsy what they're doing, and they might not even make the playoffs at this rate, because they're in the outside looking in right now.
Yeah,
so,
they are out of the playoffs right now, and that would be such a worry. I mean, I could just imagine Torts with 5 games left. If his team's out of the playoffs, like, he's fuming.
Oh yeah, 100%. But when we get closer to the playoffs, we'll definitely discuss this and give our takes. So yeah, but those are our deadline deals that we wanted to discuss. And so now we are going to move. We're going to move to John Tavares' return to New York. And so we'll give you the rundown real quick. They made a video tribute to him, and as he took the ice, the crowd just booed him like crazy. I don't know. I found that it was really disrespectful for the New York fans to do that to him, because Tavares is the guy that got them to where they are right now. He was the cornerstone of that franchise, and I get that he left, but wouldn't you leave too if you got offered a contract to the team that you grew up watching? You got paid $11 million, and you get to play with guys like Marner, Matthews, and you have a chance to win time after time. Wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you consider doing that deal as well?
Well, I would look at the organization. I would look at who's in charge there, and I would really, I would make an educated decision based on winning. For Tavares though, I feel like, man, like that's a tough one for him, just because like Long Island, the fans there. I mean, we argued about this. I think they're top 3 in the league.
Yeah, I just don't see that. I don't get how you see that.
To the point of Tavares, though, I think this is a team that's very passionate. Like, he had to know this was coming, and hey, kudos to the fans for really giving it to him. Like there's definitely a sense of pride, I think, among that fan base that they are that passionate that they know that, hey, this is our time to kind of shine in the league, where people know that we care, and you know what, like this is a team that can beat. I think that, they beat them 6-2, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. 6-2, and and some of their chants were just outrageous.
Yeah, I don't know. Just how I see it is that I think it was very disrespectful from this New York fans' point of view, I get it. Like, I really do. Like, he was the guy for you guys, for you New York Islanders fans. But like I said, like, if you have the opportunity to leave to play for your, like, the team that you always wanted to play for, cheered for, why wouldn't you take it? Plus, like, you had no idea what the Islanders were going to be. Like, who knew that Anders Lee was going to continue to do what he was doing?
All right, hey,
or Josh Bailey.
Brayd, let's say you had better hands, which is hard to believe, and you played for the New York Islanders' first overall pick, and the Canucks wanted you.
Honestly,
you're the first overall pick.
Yeah. No, I get it.
You're going to go up in the rafters.
But I could still go up in the rafters in Vancouver if I perform the way I can.
Yeah, but you're a complimentary
He's only
piece.
28
You're
years
not
old.
the 1A guy. Pettersson's the 1A guy.
Well, no, I mean, if you had Tavares, Tavares would be the 1A guy.
Well,
I
disagree. I think Pettersson's better than Tavares.
I mean, it's hard to say because Pettersson's in his first year, but
like,
we're getting
by
off
the time that we're contenders, Braydon.
Yeah,
Pettersson
but they're already contenders in Toronto. They could make a huge cup run.
It was a theoretical question though.
Yeah, I understand.
If you were John Tavares and you were offered a contract by the Canucks, growing up as a Canuck fan, would you feel the same? Would you make the same move?
Yeah. The thing is, like, it's a tricky situation because I am a really loyal guy to my team. I like playing for, like, the underdog team. I always have played for those kinds of teams. So maybe from my situation, I may have stayed, but if it would not, like, it would be so tempting if they offered me that kind of money and that kind of situation to play in my hometown with the team that I grew up cheering for. It would be so tempting to take it. I get your point. I don't know. I'm not mad at what he did. Like, I'm not mad at all.
Yeah. I mean, I know if it was me, I would stay in Long Island.
Well, let me give you some perspective.
Those are the great fans, and that's all you want with a fan base is a team that's passionate and
I'll just give you some perspective real quick. Tavares only had 2 80-point seasons with the Islanders. And the rest, he had 1 70-point season, and the rest were like 66 points or 67 points and below. He had 2 80-point seasons and 1 70-point season. So, and he's already hit 68 points with the Maple Leafs this year. So
he actually had 3 80-point seasons.
Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. It doesn't make too much of a difference though. Like, he's already has 68 points playing with an elite team. So if he has a chance to win multiple cups with one team, go for it. He didn't know what to expect. They were moving from arena to arena in New York, so why not be in a stable and a really high-end hockey market like Toronto? I thought it was good for him. Yeah,
you know what? I do understand it, and it's definitely a tough one. It's definitely a conflict. You know, it's tough to say.
Yeah, but yeah, honestly, I think the fans just, I don't know, they disrespected him, from my opinion. But yeah, okay. So moving on from Tavares, you want to get into Jack Edwards?
Yeah.
Do your thing, Paul.
All right. Listen, so Jack Edwards, he gets on here and he goes on talking about Evander Kane. So Evander Kane, him and Chara kind of just, you know, they get into a wrestling match a little bit, slashing match, and then all of a sudden, you know, Kane gets hit in the head by Chara on an elbow or on a shoulder hit, which was, like, I deemed it clean. But obviously was to the head. And then Evander Kane kind of jumped him and just wanted to fight him. I mean, they say Jack Edwards and his little, you know, Boston sidekick, I can't even remember his name, the guy's an idiot. He basically said, yeah, Evander Kane jumped him.
Evander Kane goes after Chara, punches him while he's down. That's a mistake. The captain tempted to twist his head off like a bottle cap. measuring him, going ribs. Oh, what a hook! Kane's in trouble. Yeah, Chara's just using his head as target practice. Had enough. Have a nice time in the box.
And you see Kane again getting the jump like he tried on Corrali. He tried it again on Chara. Chara went down. Unsuspecting. Got himself right back up.
It's disappointing because the man has fabulous athletic potential.
Yes, Jack Edwards. He's the sports announcer for the Boston Bruins. I mean, just looking at this guy, I mean, you would think by hearing his voice there that, you know, this is a blue-collar guy, but, I mean, he looks like a total wimp. He's basically Bill Gates' older brother. Like, to say that Evander Kane is that can't live up to his athletic potential is just total horse crap, if you ask me. Evander Kane is, I think, better because of his edge. I don't think he has any disciplinary issues that hinder his ability to compete. This is hockey. This isn't basketball. You know, this is a game where having an edge makes you better on the ice. And, you know, I think it's very hypocritical because Jack Edwards, if, you know, Evander Kane was a Bruin, he would basically verbally blow him. So, you know what? Like, give me a break.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, if you see the hit if you see the incident between Chara and Kane, it looked like that Chara did hit him to the head. But I mean, if you're Chara, you're 6'9". I mean, it's hard not to hit somebody when you're that tall in the head. I mean, I don't blame Chara. I don't think it was not intentional at all. It's just that Jack Edwards thought that Kane jumped him in that situation. But I mean, if you watch the video, I mean, it's clearly that like. And Paul and I's opinion that Chara was ready for it.
Yeah, you know what? And like a guy like Jack Edwards, the fact that he's always on, broadcasts out here in Canada from the States, like, come on, go get us somebody else. Get us somebody that doesn't sound like a total idiot. You know, this guy's basically a peewee hockey dad. Like, he doesn't know anything.
All right, so
like it's like all these it's like all the players are his kids.
Yeah.
Like, anyway.
All right, so before Paul says something that he's going to regret, let's move on to Ottawa and the situation that went on there. So first of all, they fired Guy Boucher. I think that was a cowardly move. They shouldn't have done it.
Why?
Well, I mean, they just traded away Matt Duchene, Ryan Dzingel, Mark Stone. Why fire him? Let it ride out the season. There's nothing else he can do. They're just playing a bunch of kids. Well, then Dorian comes into the locker room and tells them that like they're playing how they're playing is unacceptable. What do you expect? None of these guys have much experience. Like the top line, I don't know. Like they have Colin White, Chris Tierney, and Brady Tkachuk.
Yep.
Those players were never first line guys to begin with. So how do they expect those kind of guys with like no experienced guys really in their lineup as of right now, except for Bobby Ryan? How do they expect them to perform the way they should when they got rid of everybody and they're just playing kids? They're just saying, "All right, here you go. Let's see what you can do."
I agree, but this is a budget team, and that's a budget move by a budget team. Here's why. I think they want to give Mark Crawford a decent amount of time as the head coach, just to like kind of sample him in that position and see how he runs as the head coach. I'm not sure how it works with the contract because he was like an assistant coach. I don't know if he could just become the head coach.
He was associate coach.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if that. Yeah.
So that means he was like the co-coach? Sure.
Pretty well, yeah.
So there you go. Budget move by budget team. They want to pay another guy. That's why they never fired Guy Boucher before. They basically told Guy Boucher, hey, we need you to play a different style.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough because, I mean, I give so much credit to Guy Boucher because he had Mark Crawford over his shoulder for the longest time, and he did what he needed to do for the most part. It's just he's been dealt a really crappy hand at this point. And unfortunately I don't know why they did at this point, but they just fired him. Maybe it's because of what you said, to give Crawford a chance to have his own look. I just thought it was a big joke in the end. I don't think Dorian. I think Dorian right now is one of the worst GMs as of right now. I don't know. I don't like where Ottawa went with the trades that they made and how they're handling their franchise at this point.
Yeah, you know what? I definitely have to agree with you, Braden. I think there definitely needs to be a better level of negotiation on Dorian's part, maybe handling the owner Melnick a little better, where he kind of steps on his toes a little more.
Or don't they miss Brian Murray?
Yeah. You know what? It's very sad, but I'll tell you something about Ottawa. I've always said I like Ottawa because I think that they have a very good scouting staff, and I think they know how to judge talent. That's going to get them places. You look at other teams that, like Edmonton, that's the knock on them. And you could argue that maybe Ottawa can rebuild faster than a team like Edmonton just based on that.
Oh, no, I definitely agree. And if you watch the press conference after the trade deadline, he came out and he listed off all of these prospects, and he just kept going and going, and like, wow, this team could actually be pretty solid in the next 3 years or so. Like they have the guys there, and these guys are assets that they could trade away as well, right? So, and to make bigger moves and to acquire these guys. So it's not like they're out of it. They have the pieces there. So I don't know. It's a very interesting situation. It's just poor how they're handling it right now.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
All right, so we're getting into the last segment now. Name that hockey guy.
Name that hockey guy.
All right, so we'll give you the rundown again for this one. It's just Paul and I just picked 3 names each, or we just picked some guys that we think are big hockey fans or hockey players or whatever involved in hockey in some way. And you guys and us, we're just going to guess who they are. So, Paul, you can go first.
Me first, eh? Okay. All right, so the first hint is he won 2 Memorial Cups with the Kamloops Blazers. Name that hockey guy.
Jerome McGinley?
Nope. Close, though.
Scott Niedermayer?
All right, I'll give you a second clue. He played with 2 teams, but 1 franchise.
Oh.
2 teams, 1 franchise.
Is it really? I don't know. Can you give me one more hint?
And the last hint, and this is the kicker, he just got his number 19 retired as the Arizona Coyotes' only player, I believe, to get their number retired.
Oh, that's a good one. That would have to be Shane Doan.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct, Braden.
Yeah, it's a good one. Actually saw him at a music festival one year, a long time ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're so in there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So my guy was drafted 4th overall in the 83 draft. Conn Smythe winner in 97-98.
Oh, Conn Smythe winner 97, 98.
Yeah, in the 97-98 season.
Oh, I know.
Spent entire career with 1 team.
I know.
And is a 1-time GM.
None other than Steve Yzerman, the legend.
Yeah. Well, man, one of the greatest players ever. So good. So talented. And he pretty much, made Tampa Bay to what they are right now. He designed that team for the most part. Yeah, he's been terrific. All right. Who's your next guy?
My next guy, he was the only Hall of Famer to be claimed off waivers. The only Hall of Famer to be claimed off waivers. Name that hockey guy.
I have an idea who it is.
The second hint is he played his Hall of Fame career basically came from the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, okay.
And he won a cup in 2004.
All right, keep going.
He ended up with 1,033 points in 1,134 games. Name that hockey guy, Brain.
Marty St. Louis.
Marty St. Louis. Yep. You got it right.
All right. Yeah. Man, such a small guy, but, man, he was so dynamic. All right. So, might be a little bit – this is going to throw you off maybe a little bit.
All right. Let's hear it, Brain.
He's a big movie star associated with comedy for the most part. He is a Blackhawks fan, and he's part Canadian.
Oh, man. Is he the guy that, like his brother's Santa Claus and he's jealous of him?
That is the guy, but who is he?
I don't know, man. I'm not a movie guy. I'm a hockey guy.
Okay, here's one for you, too. Or actually, okay, if you got you pretty much guessed who it is. That would be Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, Fred Claus.
Yeah, there you go. All right, but here's something interesting. He actually picked up John Cooper's party tab when the Lightning were facing the Blackhawks in the Cup Finals. So pretty much after the Cup Finals were over, he paid his tab just to. It was like, hey, she kind of felt bad for him.
Oh, okay. At first, I thought you were going that with like that it was like a lost bet or something. But that sounds like a sweet guy though. I mean, if you just won the cup, yeah.
All right, Paul. So do you have another guy?
No, all done here from that hockey guy.
All right. Well, I got one more because since I butchered it the very first episode, I feel like I'm obligated to redo it because this guy is one of my favorite analysts. So he is a PEI-born analyst. He was the first GM of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Name that hockey guy, Paul.
The first GM of the Columbus Blue Jackets?
Yeah.
Doug McLean?
That is right.
Nice.
One of the best analysts, in my opinion. But interesting enough, though, he was involved in trading Chris Draper to the Detroit Red Wings when they were in the American Hockey League, when he was the GM of the Adnacks. He traded Chris Draper for future considerations. You know what those future considerations were? It turned out to be $1 American.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, so on that note, we are going to end the podcast there. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Dirty Dangles. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Dirty Dangles HP, and subscribe and drop us a like on YouTube. Just search up Dirty Dangles Podcast, and you can't miss us. We would love for you guys to give us some questions because we want to do a segment involving you guys. Like, you guys are the reason why we're doing this. So with that being said, again, we really appreciate the listen. And until next time, Dirty
Dangles.